Welcome to What a Time to Be Alive, the only podcast counting down everything this week that made you say, what a time to be alive. And now, Patrick Monahan, Kath Barbadoro, and Eli Uden.
Folks, welcome to What a Time to Be Alive, the only podcast that counts down things each week to make you say the thing that's titled the podcast. I'm Patrick Monahan.
I'm Kath Barbadoro.
I'm Eli Uden. Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
What's up?
Nothing much. FedEx just gave up on delivering me a package on attempt number 0, as per
Love
usual.
that.
Oh,
Just
love
drop me
that.
the notification, which at this point I can't even tell because I'm like, is this a scam or like, are you this bad at it? I don't know because
They like
you
get
guys
to your
constantly
block
get
and they're
the-
like, yeah, he's probably not there. I made enough of an effort. And they just,
love when they-
let the little tag go into the wind. Like they just kind of
Yeah.
let it go.
Just cast it out to sea into the open ocean.
yeah.
I love when they tell me that my package is being held at a Walgreens that's been closed for 6 years. That's
Yeah.
my favorite. My favorite FedEx shenanigan. They
It's
love
being
to
held
do
there.
tricks.
No sudden moves. There's the guy holding it is very dangerous.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the delivery failed due to the inability to get in touch with you. You know, so
You got in touch with me now to tell me it's not.
It's harder than ever these days to get in touch with somebody. There's just so few channels through which
People
you
are
could
so
contact
inaccessible.
someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's not like I'm sitting in front of literally 4 screens connected to like 3 different types of internet or anything like that. But you know, who am
Sitting at
I?
the- Sitting at the control panel, the FedEx reception control panel, just closed circuit television on your whole block, waiting to apprehend the guy.
Yeah.
Was it something you were excited about getting, or was it just like normal mail?
A bit, and it's something that's going to be a huge pain in the ass to get because it's a kitchen like counter from Wayfair. So
Oh, great.
it'll be good. Yeah, I'm
That's-
going to go head over to Walgreens and carry that home.
Break a window to get in since it's not open. That clearly to me is the FedEx driver being like, I don't want to carry this. I don't want to bring this to where it needs to go. It's too heavy.
At which point I'm like, just leave it then, because it's actually, I think, better for me for it to just get stolen. Like, it's simpler for me. The process of a package getting stolen and me reporting it stolen is simpler than me having to try to get this from you. Like, I'd
Have you
rather
ever had
just
to-
get the refund from Wayfair.
Have you ever had to go to the like HQ in Maspeth to get something? I have.
No,
It's
at
pretty.
that point,
It's pretty wild.
At that point, I just let them send it back, and then I wait for a refund. Like, I'm just like, all right, it's your problem now. You guys just shoot it back over to them. I'll talk to Wayfair. When you're done with whatever you're doing, I'll talk to Wayfair. We'll get this sorted out.
I had to go because I rented camping equipment to go camping, and they like mail
yeah.
it to you. And so it was like, well, I like plan to do. I have to get this, or I like my whole weekend is like ruined.
Or
And you go,
Kath
and it's
is
like,
sitting under a big leaf, drenched, and
yep, sleeping under a big leaf as a blanket. That'd be cute. That would be nice. I would like that.
Just
But it is like you go get the package and it's like you're on a factory floor. Like you feel like you should walk in and have to put on a hairnet. It's like it's wild. It's crazy in there. There's a little waiting room where the other desperate people trying to get their, I don't know, Wayfair countertops or like I don't know what else it would be because otherwise I'd just be like, send this back.
yeah. I mean,
I'll try again later.
At that point, it's just like you might as well be like, why don't you go to LaGuardia and it's going to come out of the baggage claim? Like,
It
fine.
really feels like mail baggage claim.
send that thing along with a fucking domestic ticket. I have a better chance of getting it. I will meet it at LaGuardia with a sign that says,
my stuff.
suspiciously cheap kitchen island. Please come back to my...
Putting one of those little plastic lanyards on it, like Shelby used to have to wear when he would fly, like a
Shelby-
unaccompanied minor. My Wayfair
Shelby
cabinet.
in that, and also the Hannibal mask and full handcuffs and chains
being rolled out, on
on a dolly. Yeah.
Do they like in that movie? Is it like a dolly for humans? Do they make a dolly for humans?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I feel like it had a pretty high back. I think they maybe
It did.
kind of jerry-rigged it. They
Repurposed.
had like a gurney on a dolly.
Yeah. I was thinking kind of gurney type situation. Yeah.
It seemed a little unnecessary. I know he did some bad stuff, but he's not,
I mean, was it
Didn't feel like he was gonna do
unnecessary?
that.
He did eat a nurse's face after he got off that dolly.
He cooked that guy's brain while he was sitting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Or ate his brain. I fed him his brain, right? Wasn't that the big? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray
He
Liotta.
he did some bad stuff. Ray Liotta.
But
That's
he's
the guy
eminently
who
qualified to be the director of the NIH, okay? So everyone needs to just fall in line behind his ideas.
Is he not poking away at Ray Liotta's brain?
I believe
live
it's
out
I,
of his
bel
skull?
I believe it is Ray Liotta's
It
brain,
is?
yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is
Picking
this-
around all the Chantix in there. He was like, "Oh, does this taste like Chantix?"
Wow, this stuff really goes to your brain apparently. He's out up there.
He'd be so bummed now because it'd just be so plasticky. He'd cook it and it would like melt and burn like plastic. That plastic
Who?
spoon in there.
Got the plastic spoon in there.
Oh yeah. it's
Although
all
maybe that's like
microplastics.
it's like a brain hoodsie cup, and he just has a
That's what he said,
utensil
yeah.
to scoop out with
like
the
the
brain.
Haagen-Dazs with the spoon in the lid.
Yeah.
The horrible fucking spoon in the lid.
The little
That
wooden
makes it
paddle.
Not worth eating at all. You're like, oh, this is just no good. Yeah. No, cannibals are eating not good these days with all the microplastics.
They're malnourished.
inside of us.
Eating brains in this country? Oh, they're starving.
They're probably getting. I don't know if they're getting more microplastics than us, but they're definitely getting a good dose of them.
They're just
big
getting
dose.
less brain matter. All these pea brains. Trying to crack open a head to eat some brain and then there's nothing in there. That's got to be disappointing. You got to kill
Yeah.
smart people.
Got to kill Megamind. Now, Megamind. Now, there's a feast.
That's good
Now,
eating.
there's.
Yeah.
You're set for the winter cracking open Megamind. Hannibal doing the fingers, the little,
It's like
Ooh,
when a
boy.
hunter shoots a deer and has to put it in the freezer in their garage. That's Hannibal has a deep freezer for Megamind.
Megamind
Gonna
just
make-
stuck sitting at the table with Hannibal standing behind him, stuck doing the no bitches face, but with the top of his head missing.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's going to have to, he's having to smoke and salt parts of that brain because that's simply too much. There's simply too much brain in there for
You got to cure it. Smoked brain.
hanging up in the smoke shack. Put it out.
Hannibal
I-
Lecter.
It'd be funny if Hannibal was like one of those hot sauce guys.
Oh, I've had bitches.
Yeah, he's trying out different, all sorts of other. Ooh,
He's
now this one. This is-
dabbing some like asshole pucker shit your brains out sauce on Megamind's
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah, I love
Having
that. We love that stuff. I love to see that stuff. I love how there's 1 million varieties of that stuff as well.
If there's one thing that's
Having-
important to me with my food, it's that it reminds me of what happens after I've already digested it.
That's right.
That's the best thing about it.
I want to overwhelm the flavor of anything I'm eating. Or Hannibal on Hot Ones, and he's eating he requested brains the way that some of them request like vegan nuggets, and Sean Evans is like, if you'll eat them, I'll eat them, and they're just doing little brain nuggets.
It's like, oh, Sean, you will eat it. And then he is eating Sean's brain.
Yep. That's how it ends. That's the final episode of Hot Ones. I kind of think I think being vegan is correct. I think it's like a virtuous choice, but I think if you are vegan, you shouldn't get to go on Hot Ones. You have to eat wings. I think you have
gotta
to eat
just do
wings.
Well, they
it's-
puke everywhere, but that's entertainment value, right? That's just part of it.
They puke everywhere on that? I really haven't watched
Don't like
that many.
lifelong. I feel like I've heard that.
Oh, like a
long-term
vegan
vegans
eating
when they
meat.
finally
Yeah.
eat meat again, they get sick.
They get pretty
especially red
grossed
meat,
out.
I guess.
Your body does not process it well. Yes, that's my understanding.
Reject-
is not happy about it, But yeah, and I'll take it one step further. You should have to eat brains. You should have to go all the way.
Thank you.
Have you ever eaten brain? Like an animal brain?
Oh,
I don't
like
think
an
I
animal
have.
brain?
Yeah.
Oh, like an animal brain? No. I thought you said human brain. Then it was a yes. But I don't know. Not without my knowledge. I mean, I don't know if sweetbread's right. That's brain.
Is sweetbread's brain?
I thought it was like
believe so.
some other kind of awful, an
think it-
appropriate word.
Yeah, I'm a pretty like adventurous eater, but I'm not a big
Brain.
organ person.
Not a big tip to tail person.
A sweetbread is a pancreas or a thymus. So
I thought it was just anything they don't want to tell you what it is. So, no.
that
I
is
don't
the
think
noise
any
I hear in
brains.
my head when I've been served a pancreas. I mean, I'll
Yeah,
fuck up some liver. Like, liver's great. Little liver, little pate, awesome. But
I have no
yeah.
need for this.
Yeah.
I'm good with the parts that we're all happy with.
Yeah.
Isn't this a classic Jewish food? Liver?
Liver?
Chopped liver. I mean, I guess
feels
it's not
unkosher naturally, but
I guess
I don't know.
I guess if it's chopped liver, then like it doesn't have a very good reputation as food.
yeah,
in the Jewish
what
community.
am I? Chopped liver.
Yeah.
If there's any role that liver plays in the Jewish and Yiddish lexicon, it's to exist as the worst possible thing that can be.
Yeah.
Certainly an
Yeah.
afterthought, at least.
I was
Yeah.
reading a good Reddit thread about food a while ago where they were talking about like what is the food in your culture that like is a food people eat but that is known as like bad, or like what you would serve to like someone you didn't like or something. Like I feel like the classic American one for a long time was Brussels sprouts before they got like reclaimed. And when I was in India, it was this stuff called upma, which is like it's kind of like grits but like not that good. So it's like
grits.
I don't know. It was fine, but it was like of the things I ate there, probably my least favorite, and that seems to be true universally, and yet it is still eaten.
Yeah, I think it would be gefilte fish. That's nasty. That's nasty stuff.
I like
nasty
gefilte
business.
fish, but I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's in your
Gollum food, absolutely.
Yeah, it's comes in a jar. It's
Yeah.
gollumed up.
I don't know if I have an I mean, like corned beef was like not
Yeah,
a
that's
delicacy. That was like done because they had the worst cuts of meat, et cetera, and so on. But it's been
It's not a subtle food. It's a food that you kind of eat whether you can eat just by being near where it's prepared. It sort of fills your mouth and nose to a point where it feels like you've had a bite of it.
It fills your mouth.
Yeah.
Good food review.
Well, no, my mom would make it once a year on St. Patrick's Day, and I would like walk down and I'd be like, "What day is it? Oh, right, okay." Like just like straight down the stairs, the same way that I would see a Christmas tree or whatever. Like footy pajamas, mouthful of corned beef. Oh, it's reverse Christmas today. I'm going back upstairs just to play some video games.
weird like lyrics. Footy pajamas, mouthful of corned beef.
It's a John Mellencamp song about Eli's house.
The good old days. Me
Sucking
trying to
on
write about-
corned beef outside the Tasty Freeze.
They don't serve that there. It's very weird to have it.
I brought it myself and I'm sucking on it. Terrible way to
Like the
describe
kid I went to school
eating
with.
any food.
Who often had like cold fried chicken. Like that was like what he had for lunch a lot of days, which is like pretty good actually. But at the time it was like unusual.
What? Yeah.
Like in tinfoil or whatever. And yeah, him outside the Tasty Freeze, killing it.
Yeah, cold
really
fried
wanna
chicken I feel like not as bad as you'd think. Like
No, it's pretty good. I definitely had that a couple times.
Yeah.
It's like
But it was like at least once a week.
It's a weird thing to bring for a
like,
school
I remember
lunch.
it like 35 years later. You know what I mean? Like that's
What did you have for lunch when you brought it from home? PB&J classic or like anything weird?
I went through phases. I started when I was like a little kid, plain bologna on white bread, very boring, but I just liked that
Classic
for whatever
little
reason.
kid food.
And then I did a brief peanut butter and fluff phase, but that's not food. That's like for I think we've talked about this. That's not
Yeah.
like,
It's
like for
that's not food.
hummingbirds.
Yeah.
Then I think I did turkey and whatever with just with like a little bit of mayo, like turkey and cheese, and then I think I finally graduated to like salami and provolone was like my
Ooh, sophisticated.
yeah, that's right. That was like when I was getting my lunch packed. That was like the last, and then I guess that would have been through middle school because after that I think I basically just ate cafeteria / went out for lunch. So
Yeah, I don't think none of my schools that I remember had like a really, like nobody was really eating the school lunch. I think DCPS school lunch was just not very,
Nourishing.
very
What?
good. And I know in high school you had to go into like the basement to get it. And so it was just like not appetizing.
Don't go
So I
down
don't
there.
remember-
Going
yeah, I
into
don't
the
remember-
meal chamber. to retrieve.
Yeah, like very much. It was basically like the only reason you were like it was like you were getting lunch or you were in trouble, and that's like why you were down there.
You had to go down into the ship, the Nostromo. It was like wet, and there were a lot of chains for some reason.
It was the chain
That
room.
was actually the punishment. When you were in trouble, you had to eat the lunch.
Yeah. They give you the like.
Hope you're hungry. No,
The punishment lunch.
I remember it was like bad enough that even like the pizza was notoriously bad. Like it was just all bad, but I never ate it. I was a weird picky eater, so I had I was a big thermos kid. I had a lot of SpaghettiOs and meatballs in a thermos.
Okay.
I went through a thermos phase. For sure. Some Campbell's
Soups.
in there. Yeah, some cup
Used
noodles.
to have sometimes a Stouffer's pot pie, which I think I've discussed before, which is a fun, weird one. Hard to trade with people. Have a spoonful of my gravy and vegetables.
I remember. I don't really remember like the middle school cafeteria at all. Like I'm trying to remember. I know there were people that somehow would like warm up stuff. You know, like I guess you got like some kind of access to like a microwave or something. I don't know. I don't know how that
Dangerous.
happened.
The teacher's lounge. You had to be in with the teacher. So
Yeah, I
they had a
don't
microwave in
know.
the teacher's lounge.
Yeah, but yeah, no, yeah, I can now I can kind of picture it might be just like I think I'm like grafting memories of like the Max from Saved by the Bell like into
Yeah.
it too. You know, I'm talking about from like middle school, elementary school. I can picture it. Middle school, I can't really. This is a
Shelby's
microwave.
getting lunch.
You know that classic microwave sound effect that you have.
Shelby
ready to
just
go?
got hungry in the middle of this. He's popping a Stouffer's pot pie in there.
Yeah,
He's getting-
making a hot pocket.
Computer, pull up the sound effect for when the little spinny plate comes off the little tripod thing.
Nightmare, the worst.
Fuck this.
Your stuff stays in one position and it gets all heated weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
That's why it's like I'm always like, does it have to spin? What do you? And then I
gotta
don't know.
spin.
I try. Do you guys I just put it in different places, like because sometimes I feel the same way. Where I'm like, well, you're not supposed to put it straight in the center of the spinning plate because then you're just
What's the point?
Yeah, I'm putting it on the perimeter. I'm doing like a
Offset.
spirograph. Like I'm like, let's get some.
I mean, definitely if
interesting
it's a whole
shapes going
plate,
here.
if it's like pasta or a pile of something, you got to make that little hole in the middle. You got to make it like a little
Very
donut.
important. Very important.
Oh yeah.
I've
Oh, I
been
don't do
doing
that.
I have like little potatoes that I've been like steaming in the microwave, and you gotta poke some holes in that. I learned. I had a potato explosion. Had mashed potatoes all over the
They'll
bottom of a plate.
Blow the fuck up. Wasn't that a classic? Luke Mona's trying to microwave an egg, just explodes. It just blows up. You gotta have an exhaust on anything.
You gotta
cook.
have a vent. Yeah, you gotta have the
Yeah.
exhaust pipe. Very important.
Kath
Anyway.
is broad. You're starting to eat like all the different characters in Lord of the Rings. You got the Hobbit. Single hot potatoes. You got the gefilte fish.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I don't. I feel like a lot of stuff. To touch on the cold fried chicken, I think there's a lot of foods that are underratedly like good cold because I don't microwave stuff as often as. One thing I like that is like anything spicy, like spicy noodles. I feel like cold and spicy is such a good combo.
Like a cold sesame noodle. Thumbs up.
yeah,
Really
but
good.
even like a pad thai or a pad kee mao sometimes when it's still cold.
Interesting.
It's a little
Give it
hard
a
because
shot.
it like sticks together when it's
the
cold.
noodles
though.
get all like dried out weird.
But you get
But
like it's like a
temperature-wise, I get
jelly-ish
it.
thing. But
Yeah.
it's like but sometimes that's good jelly. That's a good jelly you could be eating in there. Good spicy jelly. So
We should probably do numbers.
Hell, that's good jelly.
I don't think so. Yeah,
I
That's more
got
to say about good spicy jelly.
to talk about this jelly.
yeah.
It's pad thai jelly.
Number 5.
Number 5 comes to us from Hamburger Hinderer in the Discord. This is a story about. It's a good story. A species that people thought went extinct long ago is back, and this is in particular is good. It's not some nasty fish or something. It's the Asian small-clawed otter. It's the world's smallest otter, and it's been spotted in Nepal for the first time. They thought they were extinct since 1839. That was the last
Wow.
sighting. So,
Oh man.
good for
He's
them
out
keeping
there.
track of this stuff. I don't know who's doing that, but good for them.
Well,
It
yeah,
is
they're
so
not doing
cute.
it anymore.
Yeah. Maybe
These
out in
records
Nepal.
have been burned.
Other countries they might be, although we're going to condition foreign aid on stopping keeping records. We're burning the
No
Library of
more.
Alexandria globally.
Yeah. We will trade, fucking soybeans with you only if you send us all of your records so that we can burn them in a pile.
Nobody is allowed to do anything that's been developed in the last 50 years.
Nope.
That ends now.
Let us in your seed bank with a sledgehammer, or else we will end trade with you forever.
Let me in there. I want to eat all the seeds. Releasing a flock of birds into
threatening
the seed
to
bank.
send JD Vance because you know something bad is going to happen. Right? He's got a track record now. He was in India while that all popped off a little while ago. You know, so he's developing a reputation.
Agent of chaos.
Real harbinger status for JD Vance. My man is becoming quite the omen. Unfortunately enough.
Very cool. Subject of an Academy Award nominated film. Thanks everyone again for that. For
Thumbs
the profile raising.
Up.
Good
Thumbs
job.
Up. Great.
Good job. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Hope it was worth it, Amy Adams.
It wasn't. There was not. Glenn Close got an Oscar nomination though, right? I think.
I think so.
It's really a shameful thing.
It is.
So this otter. Look, he's looking good.
He's so cute.
He's a little guy. And
Just him on the branch.
It looks
here?
like they've seen multiple of them. There's a picture in here of like 4 of them.
yeah, they're back.
They're
Are
back.
these them, or they just throw
they
a
just
bunch
otters?
of otter pics in here?
Yeah.
I don't trust them.
It's hard to tell.
No.
Yeah, I'm not
Even though this is thetravel.com.
This source is a
Which is
little.
where I had-
This source is a little strange. Maybe it's that they weren't extinct. It's that they weren't in Nepal because I don't really know.
Maybe they were only in captivity or something. Unclear. I'm Googling them and it seems like they're
Instinct
around.
in the country.
Yeah, that's not really okay. I don't really understand this. I don't care. I'm glad that they saw him again as more of the main thing.
It is returned to Nepal for the first
Okay.
time in 185 years.
Okay.
So they're back. They're back in Nepal. They're getting
That's
some
fine.
momos. They're having a great time. I feel like I do not think of Nepal as having a lot of water for these guys to live in. But, you know, I guess it's got to have some.
Yeah, I guess if I'd read the story more closely, I would have scrolled down and seen the Asian small-clawed otters Bronx Zoo video halfway down. So I guess they had them
Go
there.
see these guys. We can go see them.
That's where they were. No, they didn't know they were in the Bronx Zoo. That's where they had discovered them again. They were like, we had them here. They didn't know what they were. The label got peeled off the exhibit, and they were like, we don't know what these are. And then it turned out they were an extinct animal.
They were just like around. They were just like eating beef patties in the concession stand, just being Bronx people.
They were at the Golden Crust, hanging out, having a couple beef patties.
Yeah, I think the Asian small-clawed otter is kind of like they're like. I don't know if they're the main otter that people think of, but I think they're So
what are the main otters?
Whatever.
Look, this is called research. All right,
and
maybe the one in Nepal was like extra small.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to believe
he
that.
was the smallest ever.
Yeah, they found the one smallest otter. I like that they're small clawed. That I'm like, maybe I can hang out with it and it won't.
I don't want them to be big
bad.
clawed. Yeah, that's the other thing is that I think these are the ones that we may have hung out with in Delaware when we went to this.
Who sent the story in? How dare you?
That's a problem, though. Just another mark again. This is definitely one of those things where they're like previously thought, even though they may or may not be. We haven't done.
Nobody's seen one.
We're looking very strongly into this. The fact that whenever they're like previously thought to be extinct, and they're like the small clawed tiny otter, and you're like, well, yeah, it's not. Especially small clawed.
Sounds like a thing that would go extinct. That's correct.
Yeah, the tiny delectable otter of Nepal is. Known for being the size of an eagle's mouth is in danger.
I mean, these guys are like straight up. They're just dogs, man. They're fully dogs. They just. I mean, a lot of animals behave like dogs, and they rock. They're rolling around. They're hassling each other. We love it.
I love any animal that rolls around. That's always so good. I guess except a bug. I don't want a bug to roll around.
What about a roly-poly bug?
No,
those are pretty good.
Those guys are kind of okay.
I like them. Put them on a hill or something.
We had we were in bed, getting in bed, and I looked over at the window, and I'd be hearing kind of like, when you hear like something moving, and it, but I couldn't see anything. There was nothing, you know what I mean? Like over the course of the day, like every so often.
It was Batman.
I was like, okay,
Hatman and Batman together.
And and then I finally I kind of tell where it was in the apartment, but there's only so much investigating you can do, and it's it's not like a roach or anything because we had treatment done, and Liza's in there all the time. That animal the heartbeats and their movements scare them away. They don't and it was like a fucking huge like yellow jacket or something, and it was just like crawling down the curtain, and so I had to like take it out with. We have like a leather fly swatter thing, like that's like so it's like extra heavy duty or whatever, and
leather fly swatter, a luxury.
was
Luxurious
like
death.
S&M for bugs.
That's right.
It's very-
They like it.
They like it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like a wire cutter thing. So don't. I was not weird. I'm normal. I'm actually the most normal. I'm the least creative person. I went to what's the best blank and just bought that.
Went and got the splurge pick from Wirecutter on
Bug zapper.
fly swatter.
Hello. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, that's my. Yeah. So anyway,
The prep meal pod of choices.
that was a very normal evening. Was just we're speaking of roly poly bugs. It's like, oh yeah, there's this like huge ass fucking yellow and black fly, and he didn't fly or anything. I got him once, and he just kind of was like, whoa.
He wasn't feeling good.
So he was already not in good shape, I
Yeah.
think, and that was it.
Yeah.
But
Man,
You
that's
had
still
him reeling, dude.
that still scares me. I feel like, most of my childhood fears I have dealt with. If there's like a bee near me, I regress. Like I do not do well with that.
Bees
With,
are
like
bad. Yeah.
a yellow jacket or something. If it's like around me,
Bees
I
are bad. Knock
I
it
gotta
off.
keep it. I gotta keep it together. I gotta I'm doing some emotional regulation because I can't be a 36-year-old freaking out about a bee.
I mean, I find them really annoying when they won't leave you alone. That's for sure. I don't think I like regress, but
I'm scared of
I've-
them.
yeah.
Not
definitely
a bee,
brought it up.
like a yellow jacket or a hornet. Not like a
Yeah.
sweet little bumblebee. Then I'm like,
I don't like
oh,
them
I'm
either.
Snow White. I'm cute. This is nice.
I don't like the
I don't love
bumblebees
them,
either.
but,
I mean, I've definitely said it on this. I've gone on the rant about it, but it's like if you haven't been stung in a while, it hurts way more than you remember.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it
bad.
really fucking hurts. And then I'm like, I'm reeling like a cyclops just got hit in the eye with a stone when it stings me. 'Cause I'm like,
It is a David and Goliath situation for
Yeah.
sure. I got stung by a bee on my face walking into my first class of college. It should have been a
jeez.
sign. Yeah,
I got-
literally opened the door to the
girl.
building. Bee flew into my cheek and stung me.
I got stung on my hand during the pledge. My first day of third grade.
Whoa.
At a school that had just opened. I was the first entry ever in the nurse's office.
sucks.
fresh sign-in sheet, right at the top.
You got the first frozen sponge.
I was just like, ow.
the
Like,
sponge
well,
wasn't
like-
even frozen yet.
Yeah.
It was still wet.
That's right.
Yeah,
And then I spent many a time after that in the nurse's office. So
Sickly
No.
child.
injuries and other things. Whatever. I broke my
Consumption.
collarbone. Classic.
what the hell is the nurse going to do about a broken collarbone?
Well, I went.
They're
You
not
go
equipped
to
for
go
that.
to
It
the
is
nurse.
first.
You
Yeah,
have to
it's
go
the
to
first
nurse.
step.
Yeah.
It's the first step.
Yeah.
I sat there. I remember that when that happened, it was like some kid was getting his allergy medicine or something, and I just had to sit and wait. And I was like, because what happened was I tripped and fell on a hill, and I landed on my shoulder. Like I didn't know I had it wasn't like
Right.
a compound fracture or anything. And I was just like trying to read a magazine, and I would like get whatever highlights or something, whatever it was, and I was like gasping every time I turned the page. And I was like, boy, sure wish this kid would finish taking his fucking medicine. I do that at home, and it doesn't take 20 minutes. What the hell is this?
I
Even
bet
worse,
that
you-
nurse was excited that there was like a real problem. Because I feel like elementary school nurse is 50% calling kids' parents because they piss their pants. That's like
Yeah.
most of that job, I think.
Yeah, but I'd say the other 50% is like kid gave himself a spiral fracture on like like the shortest possible.
She tried to give
It's
me a
one or
crike.
the other.
It was crazy.
She cranked
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
No,
like
I
the
can breathe.
highlights
No.
magazine. It's even worse because you're just going back and forth to the page with the
Right,
like
turning.
5 differences between it. You're like, oh, there's only 5 holes on that. Yeah, no, I don't. I think the bug thing.
Those
I
few
feel
kids that have to brush their teeth at lunch.
Oh, what the hell?
That's a bummer.
The
That's
hell
sad.
kind of kid is that? I never
Get
saw
him
that
out of
shit.
here.
I would not have done that. I was not a
Kid
fan.
who has to put an Apple AirTag on his retainer because it's getting thrown out every lunch.
If you're brushing your teeth at lunch, man, you are getting a book job at some point. That's coming.
Future librarian.
No, book job, like when you have to carry, because like you have to carry, we didn't have backpacks at school, you had to carry your books between classes. So book job was just somebody slamming your books out of your hand onto the ground. Is this not a known? Okay.
No.
I mean, that's just like, it's like, oh, it's just bullying. That's just being a bully.
No, we had stuff. It was just
it definitely had a
more
name. Yeah.
Physical attack. You just get tabletopped or like shoved.
What's
over.
that?
We talked about getting
somebody
tabletop
getting behind you and pushing.
Someone talks to you and distracts you, and then their friend gets behind them and behind you gets on all fours behind your knees.
Oh, and
then they push
over.
you and you you go flying, and then a kid like I said, I think a kid got a spiral fracture. And
Very dangerous.
You guys aren't doing this shit anymore.
Yeah, man.
It was there was a period in my elementary school where that was what you did at lunch, was tabletop each other for an hour, and then you'd go back inside.
Just a generation of kids at that school is CTE.
Well, now I'm wondering how narrow the scope of book job as slang is, because this could be regional, it could be temporal, it could be both. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching Freaks and Geeks the last couple of weeks, which I've already seen, but I just haven't seen it in a long time, and I'm watching it and like the innovative ways that people will bully. There's just a lot on that show where I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about all this stuff. Like kids are little monsters to each other. I mean, I mostly had girlfriends, and so like my bullying was people reading my diary and using it against me. So like not physical. I wasn't getting tabletopped, at least. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know which is worse. They're both not great. Thumbs down.
Keeping a diary is really an unforced, security situation.
Look, I'm a writer, Patty. I'm an artist. That's how I got to be who I am today.
You got to bottle it up. Irish Catholic. Those feelings, they come out in other ways.
They will be revealed, but it will be by you during a dark
within
moment.
your control. That's correct.
It's unrelated to anything that's happening.
It's a generational thing.
Yeah.
It's your heritage. Kids and I are heritage.
Yeah, no. The idea of a diary was like, no, because then you have to like, no, thank you. Like, I can't have anything like that can be found and exploited. No way.
Yeah.
I was too trusting, I guess.
Yeah, well, the closest thing I can think of as a diary is like I found like one poem I wrote once when I was upset, and it made me want to kill myself. So
I definitely wrote some mad poems for sure.
It was like, if I had a whole book of this, my God.
I was a big letter writer when I was like upset or like trying to work out feelings. I would never show them or send them to anyone, but that was like a big thing in my journal for sure. Was a lot of letters to people.
To the person? Dear Sarah.
Yeah,
you
like
have made a grave enemy today.
Yep, pretty much that. So, I mean, I guess that's good because if they ended up reading it, they would know. They would know how I felt about it.
If you're reading this, I'm dead. No, I don't think I wrote that many. I wrote, I'd send in Washington Post gets something wrong about Sonic, thinks Sonic is a property of Nintendo. I'll send them a letter. Write that into Kisses, but
they need to know.
And that, yeah.
I definitely have some poems I repressed, though. No question. There were some poems in there.
Yeah, that thing was rough.
New Patreon goal. Kath reads her poems.
Oh no,
they're all long gone. I don't know where all those. I hope they've been burned.
I'll put a gun to my own head.
I still journal a little bit. I do like a here's what happened every day.
Whoop. Kath, are you doing the artist way? That's the beginning of the day. Then that's just whatever. That's
morning pages. Yeah. I did that for a while. I didn't find it super helpful, but I do like keep track of like sometimes there's emotional stuff in there, but it's mostly like here's what I did today, so I can remember if I need to go back and be like, when did that happen? I could find out.
Well, now there's people who take a bunch of stuff that definitely should be in a diary and just post it
on
stuff.
Yep.
It's like, whoa, this is not. I don't understand what you think this is, but.
Yeah, man. Part of why I got off Blue Sky, I was like, people don't need to hear this. I don't need to share this. It's all right. This could be just for me.
Starting all my damn posts with Dear Blue Sky. Yeah. Well, good luck to
Tiny
this otter
otters.
that apparently was fine.
They're back in Nepal, baby.
Back in Nepal. Big news.
Hey everybody, if you're enjoying this episode, you might also enjoy our bonus episode where we get pretty deep into the M&M's universe.
Find out who the mysterious Mr. Runch is.
And find out what Mr. Pibb was called before it was called Mr. Pibb, along with a bunch of other soda facts. And you can get the regular episodes from the main feed ad-free here on the bonus feed, patreon.com/whatatimepod.
Number 4?
Number 4.
Number 4 comes to us from Ghost in the Sea Man. This is like a story with larger shitty implications that make me like mad and sad, but in isolation, it is very funny. So, a Texas public school district, always doing great things that we love. They have they have banned younger students in this school district from learning about Virginia, basically. So, they have removed Virginia from a website that students were accessing to learn about the states, and it is because there is a titty on the flag. So it's the goddess Virtus standing over a slain tyrant. So the slain guy, not a problem, of course. That's fine.
Well, the slang guy was, I assume, just expressing his free speech conservative views or something, right? That's just what I assume.
Sure, yeah. He was getting to the bottom of what's going on in women's sports, and then he was silenced. And his little crown has fallen off. It is cool. Like, it's a cool flag.
I wouldn't say it's a subtle flag. It's kind of like a political cartoon level of message here.
It's a Ben Garrison flag, a little bit.
Yeah. He knocked his crown off and killed him.
But yeah, so there's she's wearing a toga, a sort of one-shouldered thing, and there's a titty out. It is literally a dot and a line. It is. There's no, not even any like areola, nothing. Dot line. That's it. Like a one-eyed smiley face.
I'm not criticizing her. I'm saying in appearance-wise on this piece of art, it's barely a titty. There's barely anything there at all. It could just as well be a
peck.
The
way it's positioned, the way it's positioned on the chest is like, it's just very, again, not to body shame the goddess Virtus. It's not especially erotic. It's really not. It's a period and an open parentheses.
Yeah. Unless you're like one of those guys who likes, getting stepped on, then I guess this whole flag is kind of a nice thing for you.
That's true.
That could kick it off.
That's true. If you're identifying with the tyrant, you're getting trampled by... You're like that guy who goes to nightclub openings.
Giorgio the Human Carpet.
There's two. There's him and there's Kevin Carpet.
Okay, yeah.
They're battling. Actually, I don't know what their relationship is to one another. I hope it's collegial.
Yeah, Giorgio. I have stood on, I believe, Giorgio
people
before.
To go around to get walked on, right? They can just line each other up and become one long carpet.
Where did this come up? I think Gabrus was talking about him on something because I was telling him, oh yeah, I've seen that guy. I've stood on that guy because he was at like Le Poisson Rouge at something we were randomly at, and I was like, holy shit, because I heard about him on the Best Show, and I was like, oh my god, that's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy from. Oh god, this is like 2013 or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't like that guy. I don't like this guy.
You wouldn't stand on him? He'd probably love to be stood on by you because you're big.
Yeah, but you can't, just because your thing doesn't involve me seeing your dick doesn't mean you're not doing sex stuff in front of me. You know
I don't know
if he's rolled up like a little. He can't do anything. He's like a baby. He's swaddled.
There's no sexual component to this.
Well, he's not like actively. He's not manipulating anything physically. He can't.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's like Frodo after the spider got him. You know.
I don't think I don't know.
In there.
That might be happening. I was gonna say I don't think he's like erect while this is happening, but I do think he's probably giggling in there.
It's a component.
He likes it.
Part of it.
There's no
question.
I
don't want to be part of it.
He does like it. He no question he likes it.
He doesn't live in New York. He drives here to do this. He definitely likes it.
He for sure likes it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying just
you don't want him to like it.
Just because he's not on, going at his little.
It's important for
whatever,
me, for my thing,
gross.
that he hates it. That's the problem.
That's
here.
my thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to not enjoy it.
I can't like it unless I know he doesn't like it. So it's challenging
it's like
for me.
Somebody trying to get you to mail you a sock or mail them a sock or something, and it's like there's nothing weird about it, and it's like even though I'm not watching you do it, I know what you're doing with.
I know what you're thinking about. I know what you're
I'm
thinking
not sending
about.
the sock because it's not because you need a sock, and that's it's very almost definitely not because you need one sock for something that's not.
I just feel like
yanking it.
some of these guys, like, I feel like it's like post-sexual to them. Like it's not sexual, but it's like it's so far removed from it that it's like almost a different thing, I think.
It's like, but this stuff, it's so difficult to do. There's so much involved in it that I feel like it has to be, because it's just, you're only getting that far if there's only one reward that is getting you in a carpet, there's no.
I don't know. I feel like it's like past that. It's like psychological or something at that point. It's like almost like Temple Grandin Hug Machine. Like
I think you're giving the guy who rolls himself in carpets a whole lot of grace here for not getting off on it.
Guys, there's two of them. There's two of them.
There's two of them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pro freak. I'm long on the record.
Oh, I'm as long as you're not trying to get me.
You just don't want to get involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's understandable.
I should be able to.
You have consent. You can consent to not consent to this. I get it.
I was like, I don't like knowing that he's out there. Somebody's got to stop him. Anyway, my reaction to this flag is, oh mama. We were talking about, like, I don't know who this is trouble for in that way, other than Johnny Bravo level, like sort of understanding of the sexual world, and that would be like a 14-year-old kid, I guess, right? So I guess it makes sense. But they have access to things that are a lot worse than this.
Right. You can see
a
lot
to
more
watch
than
TV.
A period and a parentheses. You can access that pretty easily, even if you're in like the higher grades of elementary school, which I guess this is banned for 3rd through 5th graders. So up until you're 11, you're not allowed to see a toga, which, like, the reason this sucks is because it's like they could expand this to like museums and shit in a way that is like bad. But it is funny to imagine a Johnny Bravo type getting worked up about this, which brought us to a question that we were discussing, and then Shelby said, save it for the podcast. So now you all have to hear it. How old is Johnny Bravo, do we think? Adolescent mindset, but he's older.
He's 20s, I think, right?
Probably early. I would say college, maybe. College age?
He's definitely out of college, I think.
You think? Do you think he went to college?
I don't know. I feel like he might have just as well gone. The level of horny he is like very early 20s.
Yeah.
And the like where he's like, he doesn't seem like I feel like if you see Johnny Bravo in 10 years, he's going to more know what his thing is and more be more in touch with himself and his interests.
He'll have refined. He won't be playing the numbers game the way he is.
Yeah. Like he's convinced that this greaser look is what's going to get him, the mamas. And so I feel like it's very like 20, early mid 20s of him, He's the guy. There are Johnny Bravos all around us. They're just not. They don't look like Johnny Bravo anymore. They're the guys that meme I saw where it's just like want like cocky want boing boing from girl with micro bangs. That's Bushwick Johnny Bravo. It's the guys who are in loafers and
I don't know what that is.
I saw that meme. I saw that meme. It was just about like the cut and paste Bushwick hipster guys, where it's like that's like the Johnny Bravo uniform for where we live.
Yeah.
Same dude.
I believe Dan Yang said everyone in Bushwick looks like Mr. Mime, which I thought was pretty funny.
Not completely off, no.
Well, the thing about Johnny Bravo is like he's not successful with the mamas.
This is okay. So I heard a theory, or maybe it was like from the creators or something, where it's like Johnny Bravo does get laid. That's just not worthy of an episode of Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
He's not like a total incel.
It's like, he's getting it in. It's like,
he's getting it in.
This is a Cartoon Network show. Why is this even being discussed?
That's why they don't show the ones where he gets it in. They only show the ones where he's not getting it in, because that's funny. It's funny to not get it in.
Yeah. I feel like there was an episode or two where like somebody responded well and he kind of clammed up too. Like, oh.
That's also.
Well, I'm sure there's at least one where like
He's
an
like
ugly,
Ken
an
Marino
ugly
in
lady, like a lady turns around and she's ugly, and then that's the rest of the episode is that he's running away from her or something, right? Or is that like maybe that's
I'm not
unfair
going
to
to
the
put
show?
that evil on Johnny Bravo. At that
No, he was equal opportunity. He'd get it in with an ugly lady, I bet. He'd be happy to. But I think you might be right. I think he might be like a Ken Marino in Wet Hot American Summer, where he's like talking a big game, but he's actually a virgin who's like really freaked out. Like he can't. He's a choke artist. You know.
I feel like there was some
Can't
some
close the
plots
deal.
to that end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, man, Ken Marino in that newer show, The Residents, like just like they were just like, you are going to be full asshole 100%. And as always, Ken Marino is great at just being like the biggest dickhead in the world.
I haven't seen it, but he is like one of the best we have. Like I am so overjoyed when I see him in something. He is just like, I don't know. He has the like desperate energy he has. He's like very sweet natured, but also just like, I don't know. I love him. He's so
good.
funny.
He's like that kind of asshole where it's like a grown man that is just using the indefensible like insults from like a schoolyard that like there's no real way to come back from as an adult, where it's just like you're talking, he's like today, and you're like, people don't say that to me anymore. Like I don't know what to do here because no one's like called me Poindexter. Like what?
I think he's just like really good at broadcasting this like very transparent insecurity and desperation that like is the source of all of his characters, whether they're like assholes or not. Like I don't know. I just love him. Also very hot. He's very hunky. And I appreciate that like he plays really humiliating roles as like a hunky guy. Love that. Yeah. Thumbs up to that.
Call an ambulance.
Call an ambulance.
Throwing up.
Anyway, I this is funny too because it's like it just made me think of it because I said Johnny Bravo might be a virgin. Virginia, that's what that means. So like if you don't want kids to know about sex stuff, this is the weird that there's a boob on the Virgin state flag.
I had totally missed this. Apparently there was like a big thing about that. I mean, I'm sure this is like an ongoing thing among like real cranks in Virginia, but I guess the attorney general like 15 years ago, who I think was a secretary of Homeland or something in the last Trump term, Ken Cuccinelli. I think he like had like special lapel pins made where they covered up the like it's just of the flag because he was a Virginia politician. Very cool. Cool stuff. I
don't know. It's so we're like the repression around nudity in this country is like clearly not made us healthier psychologically. Like I don't think our sexual culture is.
We haven't accomplished it yet.
Accomplished what?
What I don't know. Total repression. You know,
it's true. Sexual repression has never been tried. We must, but also we also have to have more babies. So I don't know.
And we'll get married first, obviously.
Got it. Procreative sex only.
Yeah.
This is just very like 90s level of like terrified of a titty, like where I thought we'd moved a little bit past this. Obviously, we haven't.
I had assumed, not having read the story before we like were talking about it, or like before we were deciding what to do today. Kath and I were talking. I had thought it was like they just like farmed it out to fucking AI, and it was like nudity banned. You know what I mean? Like it was very like not. It was not even really like a moral thing, or like a sort of But instead, it's worse. But it is Texas, so that makes sense.
This like. I don't even know if AI would recognize it as a titty. It's so
That's
nothing.
true.
It's so like not anything. I also am now imagining this flag with like huge tits, which is very funny. It's like no one. It's like why does the Virginia flag have like huge sagging tits on it? Like
Bazoombas.
Who made this Bazoombas flag? Yeah. It's kind of subtly mentioning it when you're getting sworn in. Just like why does this flag have like giant tits?
Got to get a glimpse of this warlock, not warlocks.
This single warlock is out.
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, I think the biggest thing is like more than any sexual thing, it's like the only reason this would be bad is if you were a teacher because you know you're popping this on the overhead projector.
Oh,
and
people are giggling.
Class is over for the day. Class dismissed, dude. But
people are giggling like Giorgio the human carpet in there.
yeah, giggling like a damn human carpet. But yeah, it'll be good. It'll probably cost like a ton of money and be like a ton of work for everyone to make sure no one sees this weird, tiny, like line work titty on a Virginia flag. So,
What is she holding too? She's holding something very phallic looking in one of her hands, which I think
yeah,
adds
she's got
to
the
the
spear,
suggestion.
but then she's got what looks like kind of like a modern faucet.
Scroll, maybe? Yeah, it looks like a plumbing piece of plumbing
like a
equipment.
I think
like a
that's
fancy
supposed to be
hotel
like
faucet.
a sword in a sheath. I think this, for whatever reason, this like iteration of the flag is kind of bad. Because if you look at if you Google image search it, like Virginia seal, you can see it's like a sword.
Okay. This is just like a bad one.
I guess so. I don't know why.
I didn't know what Sic Semper Tyrannis meant. It means thus always to tyrants.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
what
sick.
That's what John Wilkes
awesome.
Booth. That's what John Wilkes Booth said.
Oh, good. It's a good thing to put on your flag.
That's far more famously. Yeah, I don't know if this is after the assassination or what. If they adopted it, it would not shock me. I suppose.
Yeah. I didn't know what that meant. That's very cool. That was very badass of him to say.
Yeah, ever thus. Yeah, that's what ever thus to deadbeats Lebowski is. That's why that's a very weirdly one of the million bizarrely literate things in that movie.
Yeah. Anyway, number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3 comes to us from Bookmark 19 in the Discord. We got some more tiny cylindrical animal news along with our otters. We got
Please don't be worms. Don't be worms.
worms.
No!
They're back and
Worms.
bigger than ever. Nepal is filled with the world's smallest worms. No,
That's
this
okay.
is
If they're small, I'm all right with them. Unless they're like trying to get inside
I hope
me.
that's better. Yeah, they could be tiny. That's not, heartworms. That's not good.
People
but
can't
this-
get those, right?
Not yet. I don't know. Feels like no, but
We'll
I feel
wait
like
until
if
the
worm
end of
got in
the
there-
Trump administration to see if those have jumped over to humans yet.
Yeah, I feel like they'd love it if they could get a bite of a human heart, but maybe they're just not built for it. We're just built different, quite literally. But yeah, this story is about a miniature dachshund named Valerie, who went missing on Australia. This is the real name of the island. I'm not being facetious. Went missing on Kangaroo Island in Australia.
You can't be doing that, Australia. Change that
This
name.
is,
That's what
it's
we
just-
call Australia.
Yeah, it's you gotta. This is like I was saying that I was like you gotta hate when these sort of stories come out and you have to be Australian and be like, and they're like, where did it happen? And they were like, Kangaroo Island, and they're like, really? And you're like, yeah, kangaroo. Sorry, we wish it wasn't that, but that's what it is. We want give us more credit as a continent instead of we wish it was an island named for a traditional thing here, but. So 520 days on the run, 29 days. She has been finally rescued, caught by conservationists. It's funny to get conservationists on this. That really says something about your worry of
I mean, if they
Valerie's
live on
fate.
if they live on an island, that it's like a dachshund could fuck up an island ecosystem. I think if
Yeah,
it's
get
just
in there.
out there, like eating all those animals that are only found on Kangaroo Island. Presumably not kangaroos. Dachshund versus kangaroo, very unfair fight.
They're getting
but-
in the kangaroo nest and eating all their eggs. I assume that's what kangaroos
kangaroo
do.
eggs. Yeah. No, kangaroo dog is like a fight that I think historically dogs lose. Kangaroo is mean, very mean.
Scary. Yoked.
Yeah, yoked and scary. So yeah, I mean, she could probably hide. She's dachshund pretty good. There's a lot of holes I assume you can get into. Great.
Just dig in
if
there.
you need to hide, it's one of the best shapes of dog to be if you need to hide from
That's
something.
why they're like that. They made them like that.
To
Yeah,
dig.
them-
I bet
made 'em like
that
that
dog
to
was
go-
eating hella grubs.
Oh yeah, going crazy. Looks like Timon a little bit. So yeah, they're on a Timon and Pumbaa diet.
If you're digging, you're gonna find grubs.
Yeah.
I'm on that Timon
As Patty said, they are built like that. They're built somewhat like that to be able to get after badgers in tunnels. They're built to the level they're built like that now because we wanted them to be built more
Because of
like
hubris. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't. I would say that that was a trait that was coaxed out through breeding.
Yeah, emphasized heavily. But yeah, so they are, and it's perfect spotting. She got out of a pen at a campsite and ran into the scrub. So that's not where you want to see your dog running. So she was gone, and then they've been trying to catch her for an extended amount of time. They've used traps, lures, surveillance. They captured a video of her at one point.
Well, it's nice that
There's a
they
picture-
knew she was still out there the whole time, as opposed to like being like, well, it's been over a year. Like,
Yeah.
ugh,
Yeah.
You know.
That is
have-
impressive. I mean, we famously Australia has a lot of lethal things out there in nature. So
This is true.
Yeah.
pretty fantastic. This little ornery little dachshund, he made it. She made it.
Yeah. Yeah, she was out there, and so it's taken. The people looking for her spent over 1,000 hours looking, and they traveled an estimated 5,000 kilometers. They finally caught her. She's just been going around, keeps getting sighted. You know, there's like all these pictures of her like blurry, like Bigfoot. They're like, well, she's still out there. And apparently is still wearing her collar, which is really impressive. 529 days, still has a bright pink collar on. I don't know, it starts to reflect poorly on the search effort where you're like, you've got all these pictures of her. She's wearing a bright pink collar. I don't know how big Kangaroo Island is, but
Yeah, it's crazy that like you couldn't lure her with food or something. Like I said, she must have been eating good out there. If like you can't get her to come back for some, I don't know, some cold fried chicken or something.
yeah, I mean, she's
What would
clearly...
you use to lure your dogs if you had to get your dog back from the wilds of the
Peanut
the
butter,
scrub?
probably.
Peanut butter?
Peanut butter is reliable, you know, or paper towel, pieces of paper towel.
Paper
Leaving a
towels.
breadcrumb
treat.
string of paper towel.
Paper towel's a big one. I'm not sure that paper towel would lure so much as she's very crime of opportunity with paper towel. If you let it drape at all while you like grab it, she'll just be like, it's like jump
Yeah,
up and get some.
Chomp.
Yeah, I'm trying. It would probably be something. I mean, I saw they did it in this. Something that probably smells like us, like a sheet or something that we
Aw.
were using. Yeah,
She'd come back for you.
Yeah, that's what they used in this, right? Did they not? Something like that? Wasn't that the effort? I saw they used like cut up T-shirt from the owner or something.
I think they were throwing a lot of stuff. They built a whole. She was snared in a search operation using prepared traps, which I guess may have been
Wow.
seeded with scent of the owner. Though at 529 days, I mean I guess they remember scents for a very long time. But that's
Oh my
especially
God.
dachshunds; they're built for it.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
Yeah,
a
I mean, she
CNN
definitely was eating something in the wild. You're not.
CNN article
No.
with no sightings for a while. It was assumed she met her match with a snake or perhaps a giant Rosenberg's goanna, reptiles up to 1.5 meters long. So there's just like monsters walking around.
Yeah, it's Jurassic Park down there.
Yeah. Just Komodo dragons. Just you can't stay hopeful.
Wow,
Dog
I'm
just-
looking at a Rosenberg's monitor. Pretty scary. Like
Yeah.
full on. It has like the Stegosaurus bumps on its nose and like the little crest. Like that is fully a dinosaur.
Sounds like an off-Broadway play. Rosenberg's Monitor.
Thankfully, they didn't have to do this. When bad weather compromised the 4G cameras they'd set up to monitor her movements, a call went out for a portable Starlink system. Message Elon on X. I'll bet he would help.
God.
No thanks.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
He'd call the dog a pedophile or something.
Something. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is great. I'm a big wiener dog partisan, dating back to the Far Side days. Gary Larson, the big wiener dog guy. I think we all have childhood experience as well, right? With our own family friends and stuff.
Oh yeah, love a wiener dog.
Good wiener dogs.
I do. They're not like they obviously we have bred them to be like crazy looking, but I feel like they don't have as many health problems as other ones, do they? They're not as fucked up as like a lot of weird looking dogs.
I think they have the standard like they have like spinal issues, like where they can just have like
Yeah, they have pretty bad
Aw.
issues, I think.
Never mind.
Yeah, spine's not supposed to be like that.
But beyond
They
that,
can-
I don't know.
They can definitely be temperamental. I know they like are often
Very
one that
aggressive.
is not socialized is they bite. They will bite.
They're tough little. They're tough little guys.
Tough little guys. I mean, you're going after a badger. A badger is a tough little guy too. I don't know why you'd want a badger. Like, why do we have them hunt those? What do we need those for?
Get rid of them, right? Don't badgers
I think it was just
fuck
to get
your
them out
shit
of
up?
there.
Oh, just to tear it because they tear up a garden or something. I guess that makes sense.
Or you're taking down one of the most skilled warriors in your enemy in Redwall.
That's
Yeah.
But they're the good.
down
a
the
dachshund in
axe-wielding-
Redwall is like Hannibal and the elephants. It's like a tank.
They're taking down Orlando the Axe.
Yeah. No good. It's over for them. But yeah, I think badgers just are like. I mean, it's a big thing to fight. I wouldn't want to get that assignment. But yeah, I think they just fuck with your shit. They dig shit up all the time, right? Badgers.
They got those big paddle hands.
Yeah,
to really...
yeah. Roughing up all your damn vegetation. So you gotta send a tiny cylindrical dog to take them out.
Get in there
Put
to
a
bark,
hit out on
to
them.
bark very high pitched. Yeah, I had a family. One of my best friends growing up had a little dog named Schultz. That was my first experience with little wiener dog.
My family friends had one named Fiki, which apparently means fuck you in some language, which they learned later. But I was really sick once at their house. I had a kidney stone, and Fiki hung out with me, kept me company. So we bonded. I'm definitely pro Fiki. R.I.P. Gone for many years at this point.
Yeah, I'm sure.
My
Schultz
cousin
been
has
gone
one
for a
named
while.
Otto. He's very
Otto?
aggressive. He's had
He
some
bites.
behavioral. Yeah,
He's a
he did
tough
bite
guy.
a little bit. But I think he went to bite school, and now he doesn't bite anymore.
Bite school is
So-
like in a Clockwork Orange. They like pry their
Yeah.
eyeballs open and brainwash them.
Yeah.
Liza
Reverse
has
clockwork.
a friend in the neighborhood. Not to. I wouldn't call a friend because she's like an old cranky lady, but
An acquaintance.
her name is Mary Floppins.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so she's cool, but she's very like, no, we're not going to do the sniffing thing. It's like, all right, yeah. Little
I
barks.
love that. I had a friend in Austin who was like very warm and friendly and like had a lot of friends, was really beloved. And she seemed like a person who would like to hug, so people would always try to hug her, and she would just say very kindly, "I don't hug," which I was like, that's awesome. I respect that so much. That's like so cool. I don't hug.
Fair enough.
Just like super happy to see you, like very warm, but was just like, I don't do that.
Yeah,
Love it.
I had a friend or I have a friend who at one point in college just randomly went, "Oh, I don't do the high five." He doesn't do high fives.
That's
Like,
weird.
came out of nowhere. And I was like, "What?" Like
I've
the person,
decided to stop.
the person took. Well, I don't. It never come up. I guess I don't know. I don't. It's like the person was like offended. They were like baffled and offended. Like,
I mean, I
what?
guess if it's like a Howie Mandel situation, you
It-
know, like
to
they
my
don't wanna
knowledge,
touch-
it was not that. I don't know what. I don't know
It's just
what.
like it's undignified. I don't do that. It's
Old
beneath me.
rotator cuff injury.
I can't do it. Sorry, man. Sorry, man. Can't do it.
Yeah. Number
Can't
two.
help you.
Number two.
Number 2.
Number 2 comes to us from AR Wet Smacker in the Discord. Hate that name. Someone tweeted at us a while ago that they had really picked up on Eli's sex euphemism,
Smacking
smacking
wets.
wet. we're saying it. Don't say it.
Many people are saying it.
You're hearing it more and more, unfortunately. So this guy, y'all use Facebook Marketplace? Y'all do that?
Absolutely not.
I would, but I don't have a car.
Vindicated a million times. Because
How
every time
come?
I know someone I know is like, I sold something on Facebook Marketplace or I bought something on Facebook Marketplace, it has been a nightmare situation for everyone involved. So
Why?
yeah, because it just the people. It's you are not going to have a sweat-free, easy transaction. There's going to be unbelievable haggling going on, and you're going to have to travel to like a strange location to pick it up. Everyone I know has tried to sell something on Facebook Marketplace. You just get inundated with messages from people like trying to be like, "Can I just have it?" And you're like, "No." And then they're like, "I'm outside your house." So that's what I mean. It's just like not somewhere I'd like to sell something.
Interesting.
Yeah,
You know.
like somebody gets you in a vulnerable situation. They're like, "Oh, actually, no. Can I like knock 20% off the purchase price here?" It's like, "Oh, awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I dragged this thing out to a public area and don't want to drag it home, and now
Yes.
you're gonna, yeah, that
Seems to me to be a big negotiation tactic on Facebook Marketplace is trying to change the price last minute when you've brought it somewhere. That's that's the kind of negotiation.
That
you're
is
in
like
for.
Well, that's
sort of
like
an
that's like
intractable
hustle guy Instagram strategy. It feels like, yeah.
Yeah.
That does seem like sort of an intractable problem.
Is this
of,
still available?
do you want this weirdo to know where you live, or do you want to drag this thing to a public place? Like both not good. Both tough. But anyway, this guy got something on Facebook Marketplace. He got a deal. He got a good deal. He bought a shipwreck. He bought a 3,300 ton, 330 foot long, a lot of threes. And I guess due to these, maybe this person was into angel numbers or some shit, because he bought it for 300 pounds. So that's another thing. If you're on Facebook Marketplace, stay away from the angel numbers. That's if you're trying to get a service or something and it's all angel numbers, that person does not know what. That's not a skilled person.
Yeah.
Don't
I
get get your eyebrows done by somebody charging angel numbers. It's not.
I don't
gonna work
like
out.
the prevalence of sevens and tattoos and stuff. I'm like, you guys should look up Triskelions and not get 3 sevens tattooed on you. All that shit
Not into
freaks
it.
me out.
All that numerology shit kind of freaks me out. But yeah, so he bought the SS Almond branch, which was owned by the British government, and then they sold it. I don't know why to raise money, I guess. But yeah, it sank. A German submarine torpedo took it down in 1917, and it's off the coast of South Cornwall, which I think is that little like spit that sticks out on the like eastern, western side. But yeah, so he owns it. It's at the bottom of the ocean. But I guess he gets to decide who goes down there. He could put up a sign down there, you know?
Yeah, that's
What a
true.
deal.
It's very like, like, I'm going down there. Like, what do you mean? It's like, no, you can't go down there. I
can't.
own that. It's, like,
It's mine.
Okay, feel free to guard it
You're
24 hours a
trespassing.
day.
I'm hanging out down there with a shotgun.
The second
at the
you
property
let your,
line.
the second you let your guard down, I'm going down there.
Yeah,
You just try to stop me.
He's gonna have to pay property taxes on the shipwreck. It's gonna bankrupt him. You didn't think about that at all. You know,
It's a nightmare.
yeah.
Well, this
I
is
guess
this is also funny to me. So he is a hobbyist diver. He's a scuba diver for fun, and he had already dove to the ship. So like they let him do it when someone else owned it. So why own it? Why? What are you transferring a title?
Does
What's
he get to
going on?
own
for fun,
what's,
maybe?
what's in it? Like, I mean, it's not. I mean,
Maybe
I
there's
don't know.
treasure.
Maybe that's the gamble.
It's just maybe it's just it's like buying a star or one of those things. You remember when you could
Yep.
you could pay to be a prince of Sealand or whatever. It was like one of those things where it's just like I own a shipwreck. It's just it's a $300 icebreaker for the rest of your life, I guess. 300-pound icebreaker.
Yeah, I think I've probably bought like stupider things for similar equivalents of money. Probably it's
it's
a little
fair.
on the high end for stupid things, but
I mean,
I don't know.
it's
That's like
400
less than it takes. That's like less than it costs for me to get my hair done. So
Yeah.
I guess I can't really.
There are like
judge.
alarm clocks that cost more than that now. So,
What kind of alarm clock?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, these Instagram alarm clocks are out of hand.
Is it for people who like? Is it for Nosferatu? Like, how sleepy you got to be to need a $400 alarm clock? I say that as someone who would fall asleep on the bathroom floor, as has been discussed.
But you don't understand. The design is so modern. There's so much research that's gone into it. The tones it plays are very carefully designed.
They're like
it's $400.
jibe with the frequency of your brain or something. Do they look nice?
Yeah, they don't look $400 nice, but they look, if they were a reasonable price. But there are a lot of these, if you get an Instagram ad for something that's like, we've, like a classic take on or a new take on a classic is going to be $300 to $400. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, it's just going to be like Temu shit with good graphic design, good ads.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's cool to own a And it's weird to me, like how the original purchase happened, because I guess they say that can happen in the UK. You can own a shipwreck as a private citizen, but does the government try to sell it? Do they just wait for someone to make them an offer, and they're like, "Sure, if you want it, we're not fucking."
That's a good question.
Getting it up, we're not bringing it back up. But.
Yeah, I wonder if they like throw it in with foreclosure sales or something. Which I don't know if they even do those in other countries, but yeah. I don't know.
Does he own Does he own the ghosts? If there's ghosts down there, like sea ghosts,
they have to do his bidding.
I think you take on the ghost.
It's like the guys at the end of Lord of the Rings. He makes them swear an oath.
Did you know? Do you know about the transit sale? Like once a year, they do a sale of all of the stuff from the MTA that's like going out of commission, like old signs and stuff. You can go buy all that stuff, and it raises money for the MTA. So I feel like the government probably does something like that. The problem with the MTA sale is because it's like at the end of one of the lines in like a train yard, so it's really far away. But if you want a subway sign, you can get it.
I just assume people just stole those whenever.
They do.
You see them pop up.
I think they do that too.
Yeah,
I think they also do that.
I saw Workman switching a street signs. I guess they're changing like the font or something. And those are always way bigger than you realize when somebody's holding them.
I was gonna say that. It's crazy because you only ever see them up high, and then they get them down, and it's like, whoa.
It's like the size of like a folding table, like somehow. Yeah. It's like, how is this? Yeah. This is insane. Like
it's
like
a crazy optical illusion. You think it's gonna be like, I don't know,
like the size of a mailbox or something.
Yeah. It's like, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and then it comes down, and it's a picnic table. It's like, how did this happen?
Yeah, I feel
dude,
like
have you ever seen stoplights?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Traffic lights, like in your head, you're like, I could hold this like a lantern, and it's probably like this size. It's like an Easter Island head when they get it down. They're like, holy fuck!
Exactly, Easter Island head. It's crazy. I guess we only see them like really high up.
Yeah, the first result is like a lady kind of like propped, standing next to one, and it's like she's like comfortably like leaning on a counter. It's like that's how big it is. The stoplight.
It looks like those like AI pictures where it's like evidence of giants ? And it's like a really big thing. Yeah, it's crazy. Hopefully they do think in the future that it's evidence of giants, but
yeah,
surely only giants required. Yeah, this.
Such a big light would not be required for such small people. They would respect a smaller light. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it could be scrap metal on this ship, I guess, but I think it's a lot more trouble to get it out than it is would be worth it.
He just thinks it's neat. That's probably
I think he thinks it's neat. I wonder, because I know in a lot of things like this, there are laws about you're not allowed to like bring anything up, like you have to leave it how it was. But I guess if you own it, maybe those laws go out the window. Maybe then it's just like, I can do whatever I want with it. I'm blowing it up. No one can tell me not to.
Yeah, I'm putting treasure in it. You could put treasure in it,
Yeah, and
then dig it up yourself just as a fun thing.
I'm making these ghosts swear an oath. You can't stop me.
Very legal to populate it with ghosts through the traditional means, though. You can't be
putting cursed objects down there. Is that what you're saying?
No, killing people.
Killing people.
He's sinking
the classic way.
They're going to sink another ship on top of it to send them down to the briny deep.
Sink people down there, and then
hey, knock it off.
As much as they'd add to the decor to have a couple skeletons on chains.
I bet they got some skeletons down there. That's why I'm like freaked out by any kind of shipwreck, because I'm like, is there a guy down there? I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to see that. Get him out.
Is there a guy down there?
Depends on how close they are to Dodman Point, right? Because if
it got sunk by a torpedo. I think there's probably some guys down there.
Guys who got hit by the torpedo, perhaps.
It wasn't like, oh no, a leak. Let's all evacuate.
Everyone off.
Yeah.
Well, it's all a leak, It's just. I don't think.
I guess that's a form of leak.
Yeah, but you can get out. You could jump off the deck. I don't think.
I don't know.
The Titanic, that shit got wrecked, and you tipped up, and that takes.
That was
I think
crazy.
It takes a while.
Did you know they didn't believe people about that until they found it? Like people were like, yeah, that it cracked in half, and people were like, no, it didn't.
You're stupid.
You're being
Shut up.
dramatic.
Come
Stop being so
on.
dramatic about the shipwreck you were in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't believe him.
But I think there's some time because there's a part in the movie after they get hit where there's all those guys with the water and they're trying to do a valve. They're like, oh.
Always guys trying to do a valve.
Yeah,
Leave the
the
valve.
secret
Get
valve.
out. Yeah.
Got to close the valve. Got to shut it. Got to separate it. Yeah. Well, congratulations to this guy on his new thing.
Yeah. Number one.
Number one.
And this week's number one reason to say what a time to be alive.
Number one comes to us from Thomas Moore's Fruitopia, which is a very good name in the Discord. I also saw this independently. This is of some interest to me. This is a story about over 20 vehicles in a town in Massachusetts have been damaged by a creature that is in mating season, and it's just this one woodpecker who is just damaging
Going
all
nuts.
these cars. And this is in Rockport, Massachusetts. That's where Whitney grew up. I am familiar with the town.
Yeah, this is a real Patty story because I feel like we don't talk about it much in the podcast, but you're a bird watcher. So you're a bird watcher, and this is in your wife's hometown. So
It's true.
You might have watched this bird.
I've never seen a pileated woodpecker in Rockport, to my knowledge, but it could have been around him. I don't know. Yeah. Yes, this guy. This is like a classic, Woody Woodpecker ass woodpecker here. And is that coming from Shelby, or is that
This
the
is
story?
Shelby
so
is
much
playing
white
white
noise.
noise.
All right. All right. I just had to make sure because I was like, I feel like I'm losing it here.
Classic dissociation noise, yeah.
Well, I was trying to stop it from. I thought the what's it called was playing like the autoplay video or something was doing it. Okay. Well, so enough. So yeah, Rockport, Massachusetts, the Squam Hill section of town, and Whitney knows like half of these people in this New York Times article, and this woodpecker is just like showing up and pecking people's rearview mirrors, their windows in their cars and stuff, and just
This is like the Johnny Bravo of woodpeckers. He's just like playing the numbers game. It's time.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
just
it's-
pecking on anything that he can peck on.
he was marking
in
his
his-
turf. That's what they
Yeah,
do.
in his
They,
mind.
Is that
he's-
what it's for?
yeah.
In his mind, he's engaging in a battle with hundreds of similar-looking woodpeckers that are
Yeah.
trying to take over this town.
Yeah.
Attacking him in perfect synchrony.
Yeah.
This is 2 months. This has been going on for 2 months, and
That's crazy.
This guy. There was one guy who was sitting in his truck while the bird landed and started pecking. It's like, well, I first thought it was my girlfriend tapping on the window, and I said, "Oh, I'm in trouble." It was staring at me right in the eyes for a solid 30 seconds, and it just like cracked his window of his truck.
That
Wait,
doesn't.
did he think?
Go
Did
ahead.
he think? I'm in trouble because he did think it was his girlfriend tapping on his window.
No,
that's
no.
what I'm hoping. He's like, I thought it was my girlfriend. I thought,
He's like, "Oh, damn,
boy,
this-
am
this
I in
bird-
trouble now?
This bird looks pissed." And you got a picture of it flying away, which is really funny, which I put in the chat. But you can see the crack.
Flying over the crack in his windshield that he has just caused. Making eye contact for 30 seconds with an animal is so long.
It's going to make it aggressive.
Yeah.
There's no animal that you won't make like flip out by staring at it,
including
for
a
that long.
human.
Including
Yeah,
a
30
human.
seconds of eye contact with a human is pretty. That's
You're either fighting or
Serious
kissing
as
at the
well.
end of that. There's no
Yeah.
conclusion that does not involve more contact, whether positive or negative.
This is
Yeah.
really funny. So both mirrors on a van belonging to her, this lady, her family's company. Both mirrors were broken while parked in the yard. Also, a pickup truck. She and her husband were puzzled, and he said he kind of blamed our son. Did you break all our
hell?
mirrors? It's like, it wasn't me, man. What the hell? Like, that's serious.
Don't tell the newspaper that's something I would do. Come on. Blowing up the sun's spot.
yeah. No, my son's processing some kind of like splits in his personality, so he's been breaking all of the mirrors in our house.
Right.
Actually, my
Yeah,
son
he's-
is Black Swan, so breaking a lot of mirrors.
He wrote slut on my rearview window and then cracked it.
Horrible thing for your son to do to you. But yeah, I mean the windshields are mirrors, yeah, sure, but like I would be terrified. That's huge to break a windshield. I
They're
guess there's
big
something like
too. Those birds
They're
are big as hell.
They're like the size of a crow. Like it's like, I mean, not quite, but like they're bigger than you think. Like you know, you can Google
I know
like
there's like
pileated
depends on
woodpecker
materials
size.
and yeah, I know it like depends on materials and stuff like you do with like ceramic or whatever, those old breakers, but it's like, people like can't kick a windshield out all the time, so it's crazy to me that they just
Right, like I said, this isn't like a little guy. This is like you need 2 hands to hold this bird.
He's a
Like,
two-hander for sure.
I wouldn't hold him with 2 hands, I'll tell you what.
his
Point
beak
it
is
the
like
other way.
his beak is like the size of
Definitely.
a finger. Like it's like that's no wonder he's doing that damage. So
Yeah. And he has
I
the
feel
tongue
like
that
he
prevents
would-
CTE.
Do they?
They have their tongue like wraps around their brain so that they don't give themselves
my
themselves
God.
concussions. The NFL has like looked into it. They're like, how are they doing it? Because we need to start figuring this out. Yeah, I believe their
Well,
tongue
we
wraps
need to
around their brain.
engineer NFL players' tongues to wrap around their brains, and then we'll
Yeah.
solve it.
Simple
We'll cause
enough.
a lot of other problems, but we will solve the CTE.
Yeah.
I feel like if I were a woodpecker, I'd be pecking and I'd be like, this isn't making the classic sound. I must not be pecking on the right thing. I thought they would only peck on wood. That's their name.
But
What are they doing?
maybe it's a new exciting sound that you've never heard, and you're like, whoa. I mean, it is. I mean, you're not supposed to break glass, but even as humans, the sound of breaking glass, you're a bad kid. You whip a bottle at a wall. That's a good
Cool.
sound.
It is cool.
Feels good.
I mean, these guys,
So-
these guys are also like not just the pecking and the look, but the call is similar to Woody Woodpecker's laugh. This is like the classic like woodpecker that we.
It's the woodpecker.
That one.
Yeah, it's not exactly that. It's not. It's obviously not like a laugh, but it is like a loud kind of cackling sound. So they've
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I think
It wasn't really a laugh. It was more of a chuckle.
Yeah.
So what are they doing about this bird?
I think they're
are
just
they just
kinda-
letting
I
it
think
roam?
They're kind of like like they're just kind of hunkering down.
Massachusetts continually terrorized by birds. This is where all the turkey stuff happens too. On Martha's
Yeah.
Vineyard, all the
We've seen when I would walk Liza up there, we would see like on some mornings there would just be like a dozen turkeys, just like
they
in
walked
the
on my
yard.
parents' street in New Hampshire a lot.
And Liza would just be like, "Oh shit!" And then it's like,
speaking
we're not going
of
in
things
there.
that are way bigger than you think they are,
They're pretty big.
they're
Wild
pretty big.
turkeys.
They're very prehistoric looking. They're just,
They hate
yeah.
cars too. All these birds hate cars so much. Always trying to attack cars.
They're eco terrorists, actually.
Yeah.
They're doing.
Yeah.
We need to train the woodpeckers to like peck an oil pipeline or something.
They're
That's
not
what we
wrong
should
attacking
do.
the cars either. I mean, this
No.
is their habitat.
Yeah.
Woodpeckers are. I mean, I feel are woodpeckers endangered? It feels like there's definitely not a ton of them. So maybe they're.
I don't know. I
This
saw
is
a
self-defense.
few. I saw a few last weekend. I mean, the pecking is apparently like they announced themselves like to mates and rivals by doing like the pecking sound, and then and they will like apparently like they've played woodpecker calls and sounds on speakers, and the woodpeckers will fly towards and like attack the speakers. So they're very like
I feel like I might have seen one in Prospect Park recently. Are they around here?
I think it's like notable when they show up here. You might have seen like a northern flicker, which is another big one. They don't look exactly the same. They're kind of gray with like spots.
Yeah, I've just seen like big guys with red crests.
They have a red kind of back of the neck
Yeah.
thing, but they're
wearing
very,
MAGA hats.
They're very flashy.
They're very flashy. I like the sense of like almost like they're a little much for me
They're
personally.
flamboyant.
You might have seen, and this is another one that this is maybe the best name of a woodpecker. This is a little smaller guy. He's similar coloring to the coloration, maybe a little more spots to the pileated guy. But he has a red face and had other yellow-bellied sapsucker, which is some fucking like Yosemite
yeah.
Sam ass insult.
Goji
Yeah.
Macasnackaroon situation.
That's something
You're
that
calling
gets you.
somebody that you're wearing pajamas with a butt flap on them.
You are getting shot in the Old West. You're going outside and like you're going through those
Al
saloon
Swearingen
doors.
ass insult.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting
you're running out on
two-handed
the
thrown out the saloon doors after you say that.
Yeah, you're running out on the porch with a lever action rifle, shaking it at the air, talking about a yellow-bellied sapsucker.
But they're
Yellow-bellied sapsucker.
They're cool looking guys, you know. I don't know. They're not. Their bellies are kind of yellow, but I guess that's the thing you seize on that differentiates them. Or something.
They're famously cowards. They're cowardly birds.
Yeah, the red-bellied woodpecker does not really have from what I remember, a particularly red belly. They have a red head also, so I'm not sure why they're called red-bellied. That feels like a real whiff.
They're communists.
The other birds hold them down and slap their stomach. It's a form of bullying.
They're pink-bellied woodpecker.
We're talking about the tabletop woodpecker the woodpecker that's often shoved over by other children. Book-jobbed, pileated
there you go.
woodpecker. Yeah.
I guess there's a little bit of red, but the head really stands. You'd think you'd come up with a different name. Anyhow, so good luck to Rockport. We'll see if he's still at it next time I go up there, which is
I hope your insurance covers it, Rockport.
I hadn't even thought about that. Yes, that's troubling.
Plugs.
Safe Flight Repair. Safe Flight Replace.
Plugs.
Y'all ready for this?
Find our Patreon bonus episodes, merch, Discord, and more at whatatimepod.com. And follow us on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at whatatimepod. Check out CAF's other podcast, Lie, Cheat, and Steal, about liars, frauds, thieves, and bullshitters. Theme song by Naughty Professor. Thanks for listening, and best of luck.
I have some shows in May. I was supposed to do one this Wednesday, but I'm not. It got rescheduled, so stay tuned for plugs in May.
I got nothing going on.
Same.
Check out some woodpeckers this weekend.
Yeah, look, birds are cool. Check them out.
Bye.
Check out the
Bye.